All right. Well, I've been speaking all week, so you don't need to hear more from me. I'd like to welcome those of our teachers, speakers, presenters who have joined us. Welcome, Kim. Welcome, Tracy. Welcome, Peter. Oh, welcome, Satvir. You made it. I'm so glad. And
And
if
can
there's
yeah, can our speakers, our presenters, raise the hand on your Zoom so that way every week we can see everybody up at the top. Um, thank you so much.
I'm having a hard time finding my little hand. Where
You
where
know,
are
it
those?
moved. It's now under, you see the heart button that says react?
it moved.
Oh yes,
Click that, and then it'll have raise hand
got you.
bar.
Look at Daniela providing tech support.
It's
There
never
you
happened.
go.
It has literally never happened. Woohoo! It's a new beginning.
26 friends, like feeling my power. Okay.
Welcome, Peter. Okay, so Kim, would you like to lead us in?
Yes, yes. Open the circle for us, Kim, and then Tracy will close the circle whenever we're done. We're happy to hang out for as long as you all like. So we
Sure, what an honor. Okay, so let's go into the Sacred Heart space, the Hrit Padma chakra, which is the space that holds that soul flame within our hearts. We're going to activate the sacred fire, and it's a little bit different when we activate the sacred fire because we're commanding the light from the will chakra. So we sit in a space of receptivity. Go ahead and breathe into the upper belly, into the hips, into the back. Breathe into your ribs, if you will. As you exhale, just send whatever energy is left, whatever you're ready to release, send it into the earth. Good. Breathing into the body, into the chest, the belly. Exhale, send it down through your tailbone and legs to the core of the earth, if you will. Breathing in from the earth through your root, through the legs, up your spine. And exhale through the top of the head now, creating that connection above, below, and within the heart. Breathing in from above, pulling into the crown, that divine light. Connecting into the pillar of light as it goes straight through your spine. Feeling your whole spine pulled back into the column of light. Beautiful. Just feel the energy flowing from the iron crystal core at the center of the earth, straight up your spine to the divine. And as you breathe in, feel yourself pulling that divine light from above down your spine. And now, if you will, take the elevator from the third eye and just imagine yourself dropping down into the space behind the physical heart. With your exhale, dropping down behind your physical heart into your sacred heart cave. And as you step into your sacred heart cave, just walk straight to that soul flame, piped straight from the heart of the divine. And as you have a seat next to that soul flame, just see that sacred fire, that transmutative flame within your heart. And from it, if you will, draw the violet consuming flame, the violet light. Allow it to move through and around you, if you will, transmuting whatever it is you're ready to release, whatever karma, lineage, personal. And just place it within the flame, if you will. As you sit with that visualization, feeling yourself releasing, handing over, surrendering to the divine light, allow yourself to just echo this prayer with me. I am my I am presence, invoking the full power of the sacred fire and the violet flame to transmute the cause, the core, the effect, record, and memory of every thought, feeling, word, or action that I have ever expressed in any time frame or dimension, both known and unknown, that reflects karma, discord, and miscreation. Divine I am that I am, I replace this with my divine perfection. Just feeling the power to transmute our thoughts, our words, our actions, our felt experiences. Commanding the light into every cell of the body, sending that sacred fire to whatever physical, mental, emotional imbalances. And then, if you will, push that out into your energy field, sealing up your field. Once you feel nice and sealed, if you will, send it out to whatever condition within the US or in the world. Send that sacred fire into any condition that requires peace, love, forgiveness. And if you'll join me in sending that into all of the structures of governments in every city, state, throughout our country, to every human heart, to all beings. Send it beyond our country, if you will. Willing it, willing the light into all beings. Allowing the violet flame to transmute discord, karma. And anchoring that in with a deep exhale, sealing that in by saying, and so it is done. Not my will, not my small mind's will, but thy will, the will of my highest consciousness. And so it is done. Amen.
Thank you, Kim. Welcome, everyone. So we added on this session as an opportunity to connect, to be together informally. So I'd love to imagine that we're all in a big living room together. If you're here now, you got caught up in the play of Shakti that moved through all of us to create this event this week. Danielle and I have been honored to meet and to speak with so many of our speakers and our presenters, as well as many of you. And before we open it up to Q&A, an opportunity to a lot of our sessions were back to back, so there wasn't a lot of Q&A opportunity. So I thought we'd give that some space today. And before we do, though, a few of our speakers have said yes to joining us today. Thank you, Kim, for that beautiful opening. Tracy has offered to bring a beautiful closing at the end when we find our way to completion. And Satbir and Peter, I wonder if either of you had any thoughts or reflections before we open it up to everybody who's here. Anything you'd like to share, anything that's on your heart?
I'd like to add to this community conversation what a delight it's been to participate and also to be grateful for this technology that oftentimes runs our lives, and yet it connects us in ways that never would have been imaginable 5 years ago. And I'm forever grateful that this platform, that ones that you and Daniela have created like this, are available to people and not a huge cost. Like it's just people showing up to share knowledge and share experience and share community. So thank you. I'm grateful, and thank you for including me.
You're welcome. And Satbir or Tracy, either of you?
Nothing comes to mind. I'm happy to be here and serve any way I can to answer any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you. And what about for you, Tracy?
I am also very grateful. I would like to extend that gratitude specifically for the two of you. I dropped in for Qigong and Sacred Sunday, and just the gift of that is so beautiful. So thank you. And I'm just really grateful for all who showed up, who checked in with some or all of the teachers. And I know that the wisdom that you received is vibrating in your cellular memory right now. And I can only invite you to breathe that in, to let it process and cycle through your own rhythms, not so that your ego mind remembers what you learned, but that your heart and the depth of your heart holds on to that wisdom, and that you reconnect with each other, with these teachers. We are truly blessed to have a forum like this. So thank you, Christopher and Danielle.
You're welcome. So to give anyone who wants to a chance to speak, let's begin with our question. Let's begin with our question. We gathered together this week to explore what it means to be an extraordinary yoga teacher. We were guided and shaped and shared by those who have been walking the path for a long time. The name Extraordinary Yoga Teacher is representative of many of the speakers and the teachers who came here, and also aspirational for any of you who are newer on the path to explore. So who would like to pop in and open up a question of the panel that's here? Don't be shy. Go ahead, Liz. Welcome.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Kim. So I'm here because of Kim. I worked with Kim a year ago, and it's very transformational. And thank you for introducing me to this. So I have a question that came up with the Ho'oponopono. So that's a very important prayer for me right now, going through some real difficult times. And I am also a yoga teacher and a stress management teacher. So what came up for me this time was I was asking for forgiveness to all the people that love me and brought me up for not for like my shortcomings. So it was like, I'm sorry that I'm not this. I'm sorry that I'm not that yet. I'm sorry. So And that was a surprise to me that I was. So what do you think of that, and what do you do if it goes to that a place of I'm not what I thought I was going to be right now. I'm not what I don't feel like I'm proud of where I am right. Whatever, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but I think you probably get what I'm saying. And this is, a stage. This is not my way of being all the time. But I was a little surprised that I was like, I'm so sorry for not being this right now. I'm so sorry that I'm not that. You wanted this from me. You wanted that from me. And here I am. So
Yeah. So I wonder if the forgiveness needs to go towards self.
forgiveness towards self. Like forgive myself for not being
What I thought.
what I thought I was going to be.
Mm.
Mm.
If I may, I'd love to position it. Liz, if I'm not mistaken, you were here for the Qigong and for the Sacred Sunday. Is that true?
I was here, yes.
Yeah. One of the things that our body is an oracle. It holds on to everything, the known, the unknown, the cloaked, the hidden, the disguised. And what happens in the process that Christopher and Daniela led us through today is first with Qigong, the body starts to empty and create space for new awareness. And then we go into that Sacred Sunday practice, and where our biofields are leaking or where our energy is cracked a bit, these gorgeous, incredibly beautiful messages come in. And so I would love to invite you to imagine that part of that is your ancestral wisdom channeling up through your entire being. And perhaps it's not just about you believing that they need to, that they need to forgive you or that you need to forgive yourself. But when we step into, and I'm going to say it incorrectly so Danielle can help me, when we step into that energy of Ho'onopono, what we're actually doing is we're opening up our bioenergetic fields to see where we're overriding ourselves. So my invitation to you today is that forgiveness component is saying, will you please look at where you're overriding yourself? Where do you think you have to do more? Be the strong one, not speak your truth, have this deep hunger for depth and not receive it. And imagine, I think from every teacher that you were able to witness this week, we're giving the gift of new perspective, of new ways to step into that art of self-mastery.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Liz, I also just wanted to gently mention that the last part of your sentence said, I'm paraphrasing, but it caught my ear. I feel I'm sorry for not being what they wanted.
Mm.
So for me, when I go into this practice, and sometimes I am in the mirror of truthfulness, sometimes I am shown, you know what? This is, hello, little humility was lacking there, or some compassion was lacking here. I welcome those reflections because it's about my own growth, my own learning, my own unlearning. So I like to pay attention to how is it that I wish to continue to be cultivated, and what am I seeking to cultivate? More so than what do I perceive are others' expectations of me? And again, this is where our spiritual practices are so personal and so specific to our learning and unlearning and growth and evolution. We're all unique beings, and we have different paths and different things to learn and different things to unlearn. So, two people could be in that very same scene and it mean two very different things.
That really hits. That
Bam.
really.
Love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Really.
And Peter and Satbir, please feel free to unmute and chime in. Forgiveness is such a big topic, and it's always so wonderful to hear it through many different lenses and perspectives.
I just would add, Liz, this idea that our present self has everything it needs to tap into wisdom, everything. And sometimes the disappointments in life are the teacher. You know, they are the motivation to look more closely, to develop a more intimate relationship with shadow, with the things that are unpleasant to you and maybe unpleasant to others that we have difficulty being in relationship with. And I learned this with my teenage daughter, you know, like she's my guru right now because she helps me see shadow in such a big way. And I'm sure there are experiences in your life, people in your life that also remind you of things that you haven't fully developed a relationship with yet. And all I would say is you're right where you need to be. And it's just meeting others that are in a similar place with the encouragement, yes, let's look a little closer at some of these things that aren't pleasant to look at.
Oh, thank you. And I think my being here with all of you is one of those, is a big step in that direction right now, being part of this. So, yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Who else would like to come on? I have a few questions that have come in as well, so I'm happy to fill in, and it's great to hear from you. Hey, Cappy, do you want to unmute?
Yes. Hi, everybody. Hi. I just wanted to tell everyone thank you so, so much. I don't know really that I have a question as much as I just want to tell you thank you. I do teach yoga. I live in the Great Smoky Mountains, got in Tennessee. You might see a little of that behind me. And um, I have become very blessed. Right after the 2020, I got hired by the city of Pigeon Forge, I live in a tourist area, so I have vacationers coming to my area all the time, every day. But our local community, I actually got a job working in a community center. And so for the last 5 years now, it's been 5 years now, I have been teaching there. And they hired me to reestablish their adult program after the pandemic year, the 2020 year. And so, of course, I'm like, okay, I'll do that. But they have kids. They have several kids programs. And I asked them if they would let me teach them. And I get to teach 120, this year I have 127 kids, ages 3 to 6th grade. At 6th grade they graduate out, and so but they're kind of busted up in groups. I get to teach homeschool kids. I've listened to you, Satbir. I've listened to so many, so much. I've listened to many of you through Yoga Alliance, many of the offerings that you have on Yoga Alliance for our continued education. And Daniela and Christopher, thank you so much. This is helping me with that, not only helping grow my heart and give me tools for my toolbox, but thanks for those CEUs. But Sabir, I have listened to so many of your research, and I'm just, and I've listened and I've used it, and I've taken some of that, and as I got hired to do that job, I said, can I have those kids? And they were a little surprised I even wanted them. Some of my fellow yoga teachers in my area in East Tennessee, they're like, you teach kids, more power to you. And I'm like, it's okay. But I've really enjoyed it. Changed my language a little bit with them, but I've had a lot of success, and I have successfully for 4.5 years been teaching that many kids, as well as, I probably have, I don't know, 40 to 60 adults I've touched on a relatively regular basis during that time as well. Sometimes because I'm in a tourist area, sometimes I get visitors. And then, of course, I have regular people that live here since it's in a community center. But I'm just telling you that's what I've been doing for the last few years. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I couldn't have been doing that without all of you. So thank you. I learned about the Extraordinary Teacher Seminar with that Christopher and Daniela through one of my teachers, Lauren Walker, who I am incredibly blessed to have as a teacher. I did a 200-hour with her in 2020. So I've managed to weave some of her teachings and guidance into my teaching as I teach these children and these adults. And but all of this, all of this I couldn't have done without you all. I couldn't have done without the many years of research that all of you have done. Satbir, I'm pointing you out, but I know a lot of you have been doing this. Peter, I'm thrilled to meet you. I had not been familiar with yours, but thank you so much. I so enjoyed your lecture yesterday, your offering yesterday. It was beautiful. And so I just really wanted to tell you all, thank you. Thank you so, so much. You have given me, you continue to give me, and I am incredibly grateful. And I promise you, I'm doing the best I can to go out there and take those tools that you all are sharing with us and put them into action. So thank you. I hope everybody has a really, really blessed day and happiness and joy to all of you. Thank you. Daniela and Christopher, thank you so much for organizing this. Beautiful. Namaste, y'all. That's it, Christopher. I got it. I'm muting.
Thank you for your service.
It leads to a question, though. I'll follow up, Cappy. That was beautiful. I'll follow up with a question for our panelists here. A lot of teachers are leaning into the kind of service that Cappy just revealed, and yet they're feeling exhausted or discouraged, especially over time. So for those of you who are here, what is it that's helped you sustain your work without losing connection to your heart? What has helped you sustain your work over time without losing that connection?
I don't mind sharing this. This is a topic close to my heart. Consistency in practice is the key. You know, oftentimes teachers, myself included, get so busy with life, busy with schedules, busy with everything that the personal practice takes a back seat. And I've noticed the periods of my life where that personal practice takes a back seat, a little despair and depression kind of seeps its way into my life. Having yoga as a practice, both a physical practice and a stillness practice, as in meditation and relaxation, is the antidote for all of it. And I've developed a style of yoga that's unique to my life because of the injury that I sustained with my spine. And it has paid back. Like, I can't even imagine my life as a practitioner or a teacher if I hadn't broke my back. And at the time when I broke my back, I thought my life was over. So it's that maintaining creativity, maintaining consistency with practice, exploring. You have this vessel to explore. It's infinite journey to get to know yourself physically and psychologically. And without a consistent practice, though, it's almost like we're wired to go the other way. You know, we're wired to be sucked into these shadowed aspects of our life. But the practice is the antidote.
Thank you, Peter. What about for you, Satbir, Tracy?
I love your answer, Peter. That is truly where self-mastery lies. If I can take it one step farther, that consistent practice being turned inward as opposed to it's an action to complete. Oh, yay, today I did my yoga practice. Oh, today I did my breathing. One of the biggest challenges for service providers, those of us who step into the light of being in service, is the incapacity sometimes to receive. So if part of your daily consistent practice can be showing up for yourself, whatever form that takes, if it's movement, if it's stillness, but it's from a space of you are receiving from divine intelligence into this masterful vessel that we call a body, and you're allowing that to then, very much like Kim gave us in opening that divine channel, you're sending that out, not because you're intentfully actioning, but because you're so full of that light that it just exudes around you. So our consistent practice combined with the capacity to receive fills us up.
And if I can add on that, for me, like Tracy just said, I won't do anything until I've had time with the juicy, with myself, with my inner being. It's like the highlight of my day. So it's not a to-do, it's I get to. I won't even schedule a flight. Am I freezing? I won't schedule a flight until it's after my morning practice. And most of my practice is the other 7 limbs of yoga. My asana practice changed over time. And to what Peter said, I'm far enough along a journey of Lyme and Bartonella that my joints and my body is just very sensitive in what I can do and what I can't do physically. And so over time, my practice has changed, my asana practice has changed, and my inner practice has deepened, such that it's kind of like pulling someone away from like their most joyful activity. So I schedule my life around the time within myself, because it's juicy and it's the highlight of my day.
Thanks, Kim. Satbir, anything to add from your perspective?
Well, for me, what sustains me is really that what I do in terms of the science and the research, in terms of changing society and societal institutions to incorporate yoga. I mean, it's a life mission, and that passion for that mission sustains me. So that's a real core of it. And another thing that's really rewarding is to see the fruits of my work, in the positive things, all the way from grand gestures of running a symposium on yoga research for 15 years and publishing the books, the medical textbooks on the principles and practice of yoga and healthcare, down to a simple seminar with 6 attendees. It's really rewarding to see that what I have to offer is making positive change happen. So that is also contributing to keeping me going.
Thank you. Gina, would you like to bring a new question?
No question. I just want to say thank you to all the people that were represented here. My journey's been long and fun, but I came to Lauren Walker's Energy Medicine Yoga, so I'm adding on to Cappy's. In 2017, was having pain. It became a hip replacement in 2018. Then as I was healing, following Lauren's links from her second book, cancer happened. I had stage 3 anal rectal cancer, which I'm healed from as of 2020. And then using Lauren's on the Shift Network, she had Energy to Embody Joy. And following her since then have brought me into a whole new, getting through not only physical ailments, but ancestral ailments. And it was just trust in knowing that I was stronger than the bastard, anybody that wanted to get me down. And so whatever your practice is, just trust. And thank you so much, because I'm going to be watching all of you over and over and over again. So this is more gratitude than a question.
Thank you, Gina. Let's go a little bit into legacy. I'd love to hear from those who are here. What do you most hope will live on? You all have been training students, you've been training teachers. Satbir mentioned that the joy of what sustains him over time. I'd love to hear from the four of you. What do you hope will live on through the students, through the teachers, through your work?
I guess I'll go first. This path of following a teacher, a lineage, if the lineage and guidance that you get is not directing you towards the inward journey, then I would suggest for those of you out here that have not heard these words before, that you're being misled a little bit. And that what I hope lives on, especially in this current era of yoga, is this trust in turning your attention inward like a labyrinth where, this inner teacher that we all possess, you can't find outside. You have to find it within. And the only choice is to decide to look within. And that's what I hope. That's what I last year I started this Inner Teacher Academy because I was done teaching students how to become teachers. I wanted to teach teachers how to look inward and then teach that to their students. And for me, this has been, seeing the fruits of our labor as teachers is inspiration to continue. That you start something new, you start an idea that you have, some intuition guides you, and then you see its effect ripple out from you in your family and your friends and your students. And to me, that's what I hope continues on, that the teachers of the future are encouraging people to set their sights inward, and that continues. And then the illusion, the things that are happening in the world seem to have less potency to disturb your calm inner state. So that's my 2 cents worth. Thank you.
Satbir, Tracy, Kim.
So, yoga and contemplative practices, unfortunately, are being taken advantage of by a very small minority of the population. It's mostly women, it's mostly white, it's mostly well-educated, it's mostly higher income. And so the people that need these practices the most are the ones that are getting it the least. And so that's a disparity that we need to address in the yoga world and the yoga community. And so what I find most rewarding is that people are able to take what me and my fellow researchers are doing, is providing the evidence and the language for yoga teachers to be able to walk into societal institutions, into the public schools, into the healthcare system, and even into the workplace, to share these much more broadly across the entire demographic, so that the entire society will have access to these practices. And that, to me, is what I find most rewarding when I see that happening.
Thank you. Kim or Tracy, anything to add? What do you hope will live on through the teachers and students you've influenced?
For me,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead, Kim.
Oh, it's okay. Go ahead, Tracy.
No, please.
Well, I feel like the point of yoga is to find the divine within. And so if there's anything that I hope that I've done in my career and lifetime, it's to help people connect to that, to the sacred within. It's so funny. I read something about how AI is going to, we all know AI is going to be replacing a lot of jobs. And we're about to undergo a big transformation in society, which I think is a great opportunity for people to turn inward to who they are outside of what they do. But of course, there might be a crisis in that. And I hope that we all as teachers are equipped by having gone through the struggles. I so appreciated Todd Norian's response to my question yesterday, because it was so raw and real about when things fall away, we can really know who we are, beyond what we do and what we think and, who we take care of. And so that's what I believe yoga is that knowing ourselves. And for me, having grown up Catholic and working at the church at Syracuse University, right? Like having been in a very traditional religious way, to have yoga turned me into the sacred within. And so that's my hope for every frickin' person on this planet.
When you first asked the question, Christopher, and you positioned it as legacy, my mind started. I had to get myself back into my heart. And I think that's what I wish for people, is that our yoga practice, our spiritual practice grows with us. We're no longer elementary level spiritual seekers. We have the capacity to move through adolescence and into elderhood. The big part of this for me, especially in terms of literacy, is language the teacher uses with their students, the language that we use with ourselves. My hope is to change some of those metaphysical swear words, or like responsibility and selfishness, to shift those into inner guideposts, to use those to grow, to learn without shame, to, like Peter has suggested, sit in that shadow, but also be responsible for your thoughts and feelings interconnecting, to not just be in thought or just in feeling, but those pieces to expand out into who we are, and to take sacred selfishness to a next level. One of the reasons that I wrote my book series, Conscious Living, is because I think those words have become swear words that we're afraid to use as the teacher's voice, as our own self-student. And when we are in a state of sacred selfishness, we know that in this moment, in complete conscious awareness and from a place of love, that we can sit in, I am the most important energy on this planet in this moment, because if I grow, if I learn, and if I share, if I am all of those energies that Daniela talked us through in her I am sequence, if I am that, if I can change that language, that's my legacy.
Thank you, Tracy. All right, I have one more for our panelists, and then we'll shift into a beautiful closing ceremony. So over 2,500 people signed up for this summit, which in my world represents a tremendous longing, from a chorus of longing from people who want to make a difference, from people who want to serve, from people who want to give and help others through this path of yoga, through this wide, beautiful, multifaceted path of yoga. And those of us who have been teaching for many years have been in the ebbs and the flows of different offerings and different classes. And sometimes a lot of people show up and sometimes nobody shows up. And so in order for our emerging yoga teachers, the next generation of yoga teachers, to be successful, they need to be able to connect with people for something that they really need, for something that they really want. So my question for the panelists here is, from what you're seeing in the world today, what do you think students are most hungry for beneath the surface? What are they really seeking, so that we can speak to that as we work to bring yoga into the other communities that Satbir mentioned? We have to address their needs, their wants. What are they most hungry for beneath the surface?
If you don't mind, I'd like to answer this because it came crystal clear to me. In terms of trends, it's really hard to throw a dart at a board and know exactly, but I can use a little microcosm of the people that are showing up for my classes, and they're mostly 40 and older these days. Not, occasionally I get younger people coming to class, but it's rare. They're looking for a healing, a balance in their lives. And it may involve physical movement, but oftentimes it's just a process that's more um, self-reflective, meaning that they want a safe space to be heard. They want an opportunity to be inspired, and hopefully the teacher is walking the walk and not just talking the walk. And what I, again, Fear's comments about seeing the fruit of his work in the responses of the people that he touches, that's the key. That's, to me, how we move forward. And um, yeah, I, I really believe that that's the way. Healing, balance.
Thank you, Peter.
If I can add a piece to that, this question, like most things, operates under the natural law of polarity, but it has the truth and it has reality. The truth is, I believe that we're all looking for relief, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual. The center part of that is so many students are looking for someone else to do their work for them in some way. We want to have the experience, we want to have the awareness, we want to grow, we want to heal, but we're not often able to consistently sit in that space. And so when it comes to truth, I feel like most people want depth. They want something that they can hold on to that can support them, hold them, create space for them, while they find the capacity to match both that reality and that truth, to have relief and have depth, but also cultivate the capacity to create that themselves. And this is where we are as teachers. How do you give them everything? Don't do their work for them. Offer avenues of relief, but also create doorways that are unlocked that are going to fulfill depth, a hunger for depth.
Thanks, Tracy.
Well, I think in terms of why people are coming to yoga, we actually have research done by my colleagues in 4 different countries on reasons for why people come to yoga practice. And it's no surprise, given the reputation of yoga as being sort of a bendy form of physical exercise, that many people are coming for physical fitness and wellness. Those people that are a little bit more informed, you see a high percentage of people coming for stress management and for treating some kind of condition, whether it's a mental health condition or a physical condition. And I think the stress is really important because 40% of Americans in a survey conducted by the American Psychological Association indicates that middle-aged adults are so stressed they can barely function. 40%. So that's valuable and that's important. But what's really inspiring is actually my colleagues have now done surveys where they ask not only why did you come to yoga practice, but why are you now practicing yoga? And what we see is that at the initial reason for practicing, about 5% coming to yoga said they're doing it for spiritual reasons. That increases in some surveys 7-fold. It becomes the aspect of yoga that grows the most of all of the other aspects of reasons for practicing yoga. So really that's really inspiring to see that people are coming in for the physical reasons, but then they do experience these deeper aspects, which are life-changing, of course.
Thank you, Sapir. Kim or Daniela?
I'm not sure I have anything to add other than watching my middle daughter, 3 daughters, and like Peter, my daughters are my fast track to enlightenment because they will mirror every part of me that I have not healed within myself yet. And so I've never been able to delude myself into thinking I'm even close to enlightenment because of that experience. But seeing my middle daughter managing ADHD through core power yoga has been really one of the most exciting things to watch based on Satbir's point, which is she's just looking to burn off steam. And I think it's going to crack open her heart. And I think that's how I found yoga. It was mom and baby, and I had to get out of my house and I couldn't put my baby anywhere. Right. So there's these very benign reasons or non-spiritual or non-deep reasons why we find yoga. And then even if it's just pure asana, the postures are, go back in tradition and will crack our hearts open. And that's my hope. And I don't know if I'm answering your question. I think I lost it after a while, but that's my hope, is that people will find their way and that we can make it more accessible, as Satbir said, and what Kappy is doing out in the communities. It's so important for it to become more accessible so the planet can awaken.
All I have to add to that is I'm so present to Andrew Harvey's question to His Holiness the Dalai Lama, what is the purpose of life? And this was in the book Heart Yoga. And it was at the very end, like the appendix of appendixes. And he said, we're here to embody the transcendent. And so I really love Satbir, how you said, we come to yoga for one thing. And here's the journey that it takes us on. And the fruits of our consistent practice afford us, like, nobody relaxes if you say, just relax, you just need to relax. But the yoga really relaxes and harmonizes our entire system such that divinity can settle comfortably inside of us. And then our life really transforms.
Thank you, Daniela. So I'd love to invite everybody who's here, 37 of us, if you're able and willing, to bring your camera on so that we can have our closing 5 minutes as a living, breathing group together. No pressure, and an open invitation.
You can't. Total respect. And if you're able to, yay. Yay, Andrea. Love being with you there. Awesome. Thank you. So cool.
This has been an incredible time. Daniela and I are grateful to each and every one of you, especially to our generous speakers who gave of their time, our presenters to bring their wisdom to so many. We think this is the beginning of something beautiful, and it also is the end of something beautiful. And so we invited Tracy to come on and offer us whatever closing you are inspired. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you. Thank you, Christopher and Daniela, for having all of us, for introducing us to each other, to these amazing speakers. I'd like to take a piece of what Kim offered us at the beginning. She opened our divine channels, or supported us in opening our divine channels. So if you're able, I'm going to ask you to just rest your hands palms facing up, if that can be on your lap. If you want to extend them into the air, this is a symbol of receiving. I will ask you to close your eyes. And what we're doing right now is downloading soul healing codes. Your hands, palms facing up, are indicating that you're willing to receive. And as an energy worker connecting to the divine, I'm asking Source to move through that channel that Kim supported us in activating. If you can close your eyes softly and bring your awareness back to that violet flame, dropping into your hara first, that space behind your belly button, and allowing that flame to move up into the center of your sacred heart. And finally, that flame moving to crown, With your hands open, just imagine that you are receiving the wisdom deep into every cell in your being, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, whether each of those fields weave together. You've been gifted an extraordinary opportunity to come to this summit as both students and teachers. There's nothing for you to do in this moment except for breathe. As you inhale through the nose and you open the heart, give yourself permission to exhale that energy down into your hands, as though you're creating an energetic magnet where the wisdom of the divine channels into you, where the ancestral wisdom flows through you, where your body is safe, secure, and supported on this timeline, where your heart is open to give and to receive love, kindness, and compassion, and where third eye and crown become transmitters, but also receivers. May you honor the work that you're here to do. May you continue to receive the wisdom that is on your path. May you give yourself permission to step into those shadows and unlock those doors. May you be a spirit energy, having chosen a human experience, and may that conscious awareness propel you into each moment filled with love. If you're called, I'm inviting you to place both hands at heart center, one over the other, or in prayer position, whichever you're called to. And could we just open our hearts enough to extend our gratitude to each teacher, to each student, and most importantly, to our own self for choosing to be present. Namaste. As you slowly, gently open your eyes, may what you received this past week continue to show up exactly when you need it.
And I'd like to add in one of the Radiant Sutras from Dr. Lauren Roche. There is a knower who experiences everything. There is a presence dancing everywhere. And there is a lover who embraces us all. We are one with that light. We are one with that power. And we are one with that love.
Thank you, everyone. Until we meet again.